Hi guys, and welcome back to Pass and Move. And for today's episode, we've got none other than a game against Scotland for you here in the World Cup qualifying section. We are away from home. It's more intense. It's more difficult, of course. But yeah, so since the last episode, if you did miss out on it, it's just we played Lithuania and Malta, as you can tell. Horrible result against Lithuania, but we were away from home, so you kind of can excuse it. It's also still the beginning, so you can't really tell how damaging that result is. But we did bounce back greatly against Malta. As for the Scotland game, we've also got an a friendly against Algeria that we will be showing you as well. But the main game here, of course, is none other than the Scotland game. A very intense rivalry, of course, as everyone knows. And just to show you how the groups look, we are in second place. So if we win against Scotland, and if Slovakia lose, we possibly go ahead of them on goal difference. So hopefully that's exactly what happens today. In terms of the squad that we've picked for this game, in terms of goalkeepers, we've finally dropped Joe Hart. I did try and give him 2 chances in the last 2 episodes, but he really hasn't performed at all. Not that he hasn't performed with us, but just that he hasn't performed in his league at Torino. His league games was horrible. He wasn't having a good time at all. His average rating was actually a little bit worse than this. I think he had one good game after, possibly. But we did drop him for players who did deserve the spots a little bit more. Forster and Heaton pretty much always get it, but Ben Foster as well got to get picked up as well for this game. He's had a decent Premier League season so far. In terms of the fullbacks, it's becoming more and more clear who we should be going with. Shaw and Bertrand is pretty much straightforward. Of course, Danny Rose is the competitor as well. It's between Rose and Bertrand every single time. Shaw kind of just gets picked, especially because he's got more ability now and he's improved. But Danny Rose and Bertrand's according to who's the better player in form, who's played more games and whatnot, and Bertrand wins this time compared to the last time out. Walker and Klein are pretty much straightforward decisions. There's no other right backs who compete. Klein's abilities increased a lot more, and that's always great to see as well. We're still in November, so it hasn't been that long in just yet. But in terms of centre backs, not as straightforward as it should be. Smalling finally gets his call up. He has played a lot more games now, so it is deserved, but John Stones has fallen off, so we've decided to drop him. Keane's still getting some great game times. Jones is really still disappointing us. Cahill, his ability is improved according to our scouts anyways. I think they rate him a bit more now. It helps that he's got the international experience as well, but he's also playing frequently for his club. Shawcross still out injured, and for our 4th centre back, we've still decided to stick with Simon Francis. Some other good actually centre backs, not in terms of ability but in terms of game time and form. There are a lot of other centre backs who have played quite well, but Simon Francis wins out just because he's had such a great season. 11 games so far, 2 assists, 2 player of the matches. His average rating is 7.23 in the league, so really can't ask for more than that. He'll slot in pretty well. For now, he's 31 years of age, so it's not like he's going to have too long of an England future, but why not give him game time so long as he deserves it. In the midfield, we've got Henderson, Dyer and Ali, and Lallana are our midfield first choice 4. Carrick was actually selected initially because he has actually, according to our coaches and scouts and whatnot, he has gotten a better rating now. And he's also had an incredible season, but fortunately he does miss out by injury, so Mark Noble's come in instead, who did get dropped initially for Carrick, but he comes back in because he's also had a good season. He's just unlucky that Carrick has had a better one. Wilshere, Drinkwater and Barkley haven't been outstanding, but they've had decent seasons and they are better in terms of ability compared to everyone else. Sterling, Lingard and Rooney all not having enough game time. Some really disappointing game time basically. In terms of our strikers, we had Kane. This is another place where it should be a lot more straightforward than it has ended up, but we've gone with Kane, Deeney, Berahino and Wilson, so it's relatively inexperienced in terms of international side, but of course Deeney and Kane are very experienced in the Premier League. Berahino and Wilson, I think Wilson getting his first call up, so he could possibly get a cap. He's had a pretty good season so far, and compared to Walcott, Rooney, Welbeck's still injured, of course. Rashford, for example. These players aren't getting any game time at their clubs, so they don't deserve to be picked. The same can be said about Sturridge and Vardy, who really haven't had incredible seasons. And I think think that's pretty much it in terms of our squad selection. So who we've picked today is our best 11 basically. So Forster, Klein, Smalling, Keane, Shaw, Dyer, Henderson, Ali, Lallana and Kane, all other ones that are going to be starting for today's game. We're going to start as we always do on a counter, and we'll push up into control if needed, but it's good to start off with a little bit of a lower mentality, so to speak, and that way if we do score on a lower mentality, if they go on attack, then that means we draw them out even more and we can hit them on the counter consistently. But anyways, as expected, we are the favourites for today's game, but I guess the match expert or the odds expert thinks that it's a close encounter, and that's what it also should be. Scotland deciding to go with the 4-2-3-1. We'll be going with the 4-4-2 diamond, so it's really about who exploits who, whether we dominate the midfield or whether they dominate the wings and then expose us. But yeah, I think telling the boys that I expect them to pick up where they left off last time, which was the 5-0 defeat of Malta, is a good start. If they can do that to Scotland too, that'd be great. But yeah, it is the Scottish who kick off at home. Snodgrass got the ball and he finds MacArthur, Morrison, Ritchie. They've got a decent team, Scotland, of course, a lot of passion. And funnily enough, England and Scotland just played recently, and that ended in a 2-2 draw. So let's see whether we can do any better here. Of course, we're much earlier, you know, in the past, I suppose, now. But either way, this is more of an important game because it's an actual World Cup qualifier game rather than just a friendly. But yeah, it doesn't seem like anyone's had a great start. It's been back and forth, but Kane really does find Dini and he can make the most here, but unfortunately he couldn't do that. And I think that would have been his first goal for the country, and I think his first start today as well. He set up Dele Alli beautifully, but unfortunately he couldn't make the most of that, and that was just considered a half chance. I would have considered that as a clear-cut chance, but yeah, early stages seems to be us edging them out, but they are edging us out in possession at least. But anyways, we need to push on and really get a goal where it matters rather than just creating half chances. Smalling does well to win it. Dyer there to cover as the halfback. He finds Henderson comfortably, who finds Dele Alli on the centre midfielder on support duty. Klein all the way forward. Kane again through to Dini. Can he do it this time? Yes, he can. And that is 1-0 to us away from home. This is perfect because now we can just stay on the counter and hope Scotland come out for us and we hit them on the counter, and it's perfect basically. If needed, we can always push up to control, so why not? There you go, as you can see, Scotland automatically switching to an attacking 4-2-3-1 now. They're no longer you know, playing a sort of standard mentality or playing it safe kind of thing. But yeah, Dyer makes it too. Or was that Smalling? That's Smalling. And who can ask for better? He's finally come back into the team again. He kind of deserves to, well, I mean, he deserves based on game time, but he also deserves because of his ability. He should be starting for England, but he's just been missing out because he hasn't been showing up for United. But so, you know, I think he's made amends for that, and he's taken on board what we've told him. And it's great to see someone respond like that, rather than when you speak to someone else and tell them they aren't having game time, for example Sterling, and then he says, no, I have been, even though he has only made one substitution. He actually had a proper argument with me about how he has been playing a lot for City when he's only made one start and one substitute appearances in 11 Premier League games. So, you know, that's not good enough. All I've asked for is at least start half the Premier League games. I don't think that's too much to ask for. You should be starting more than half. You should be key players for your squad. That's the type of, you know, for your club. That's the type of players that we want for our team. But, you know, a lot of the English players aren't doing that right now. So we have to pick someone who's maybe not necessarily as good in ability. But, you know, doesn't matter as much as game time. Game time is what matters, because ultimately that's the fitness. It comes into the fitness side as well of things. For example, last time we picked Hart and he wasn't as fit, and he was at he was part of the error, him and Keane, but at least he was part of the error as well that helped Lithuania score against us. So that's the kind of thing that causes issues. We can't really train our players for fitness the same way we can at clubs, at club football. So it's really important we have players who are playing consistently. Smalling, not necessarily the most tired, but he is the best player, or he's had the best game out of all the other tired players. I think he's man of the match actually with 8.4 rating, and I wouldn't put it past him. 4 clear-cut chances. We've scored 2 of them, and I think that's a good ratio. And Bertrand makes it 3 from a free kick. Who would have thought Bertrand would be taking off free kicks? I mean, obviously he's a decent free kick taker in real life, but I would have thought there's other players capable of doing that, such as Lallana. I've given the players full freedom to pick who they want to take free kicks or whatever, all that business. But yeah, there's still 10 minutes to go, and looks like we're going to get a couple more highlights possibly. But there's Lallana, and can he do anything here? He plays it safe to Drinkwater, who plays a risky pass to Dean, but he makes up for it. And Kane, can he find anyone? Just cruising with the ball here, basically. And that's exactly what you expect from a diamond and from a team who are trying to keep possession. But instead, we finally get Klein forward, and he almost found Lallana. But again, we're still recycling possession. That's one hell of a through ball by Henderson. It's just a shame that Dini couldn't score it and get a brace for himself, basically. Kane's having a good game apparently as well. I would assume so, just by all his through balls, and that's exactly the type of performance we want from a player on a support role, a striker on a support role. I think that was one. That should have been 4 from Lallana there, but either way, 3-0 defeat of Scotland is great. We got the point needed. Scotland drops, Slovenia come up. We're still in the same spot because Slovakia have won their game as well, but we are hot on their heels, and I expect us to eventually catch up. Okay, so anyways, we're going to come back after we're done simming, just because of how long simming takes when you're playing with the national team. So we'll be back in just a moment and show you the game against Algeria. Alright, welcome back guys, and we do have the friendly for you here against Algeria. We are at home, so none other in the stadium of Wembley, and in London of course. And I just want to give you a quick update on the groups, I suppose, just show you not just how we're doing, so you can, I think a lot of the games have been played now. I mean, obviously it's just 4 games, but I mean like everyone else has played the games, not just us. So Holland are leading their group, doing really well because they're doing quite poorly in real life. France are in second, Sweden there, the expected people basically. Portugal leading theirs as expected. Switzerland are level on points though, kind of close there too. Germany quite easy and straightforward as expected, but Czech Republic hot on their heels as well, just pretty much like us. Austria leading based on goal difference, but Wales are there too, and so are Ireland, Serbia. So pretty close group here. No one's really dominating that one. Denmark though, showing that they're kind of are dominating this one. Of course, we've showed you our group as well. Spain and Italy very close. Albania, Macedonia, Israel, and Liechtenstein. We've got Belgium here leading their group. Bosnia doing more poorly than you'd expect, I think, with the likes of Dzeko on board. But Croatia leading Ukraine and the rest of their group. Turkey doing worse as well. So let's just kick off into today's game. We just need to quickly get rid of some of the players who are tired. Klein, we can give Walker a little bit of a run out. I think Smalling should still be fine, he's match fit. Keane taken off for Cahill. I think he can do the ball playing defender role well. Yeah, he can. Shaw tired, not he's match fit. Dyer's exhausted. Bring on Noble, who we expect to bring on anyways. Danny Drinkwater can play as a ball winning midfielder and will take off. Actually, let's see if Dele Alli is tired first. He's a little jaded, so let's just give him a rest. Wilshere for the central midfielder on support role. Lallana can finally come off for Barkley. He's a decent backup, to be honest. I think eventually he'll take over from Lallana, but we'll see. Kane's been issued with 45 minutes from his club, Tottenham, but that's okay. Anyways, we should be taken off because he's exhausted. I think Dini should survive. Yeah, he should. And there you go. We'll give Callum Wilson a debut here against Algeria. He's performed a little bit better than Sadio Berahino, so why not give him game time instead of him. And there you go. We'll kick off against Algeria, who we should be favourites against. Teams are warming up, and I would expect us to win pretty much with the same scoreline as we did in against Scotland. So not too much pressure because it is just a friendly, but the more we can win, the better it is for us, and the higher up we can climb in the world rankings as well. They do have good players though, Algeria. We shouldn't dismiss them at all. They've got Slimani, who's always a handful to deal with. They've got the likes of Mahrez, of course, as everyone knows. Brahimi's a decent player as well. We've got some local Algerian players, but also players who've played abroad, such as Bentaleb as well, who used to be a Tottenham man. Goulam's a good player as well, always. So many of these names I don't really recognise, but I'm assuming they're local players as well. But yeah, can't dismiss them. But either way, it's been about 15 minutes here and nothing's really happened, and Algeria have actually had more shots as well as more possession. So I think we do need to push on to being control and really start dominating our game, because we can't afford to be outplayed so early on. One shot in 20 minutes is really not good enough compared to Algeria's 6. If it was a bit equal, it kind of makes sense. But either way, we do have a corner here, and it's turned into a penalty because Cahill was pushed by Medjani. Let's see who's taking it. Mark Noble, who scored the last penalty he took. Can he do the same here in front of his own fans? Of course he can. Why even doubt him? Blasted into the net, as it says. And that's 1-0 to England at home at Wembley. As soon as we switch into control, we start dominating the game. Look how stats have changed. That's the advantage of starting at counter. You can adjust to other situations. That's why I love. I used to play with standard all the time, because you get to see how the other team's playing, and you can adjust to going either a bit more defensive or more attacking. And there you go. Barkley makes it 2. Is that his first England goal? I don't think so. Shouldn't be at all. Why didn't you even think of that? He's scored in real life before. Why would I even think that's his first? But either way, you know, we've given him a chance and he's made the most of it, so credit to him. Let's hope the boys can keep that up. Algeria finally getting out of the defensive shape now. I mean, it's still a 4-3-3, but as you can see, it doesn't say defensive 4-3-3 anymore. It's actually, they've pushed on. They probably changed their duties around a little bit. Roles are probably still the same though. But either way, Shaw's got the ball here. Kind of outnumbered. Can he deal with it? Yeah, he can. Cahill finds Noble, and as you can see there, that's exactly what I want Noble doing, dropping in between the two centre backs, which is a half-back role. And look how wide the full-backs are, and you can bet Klein's like somewhere here, and that's what you expect. That's exactly what I want for them. But anyways, Wilson's dropped deep to get it, and he's found Walker. Walker does really well to find Deeney, but unfortunately he couldn't actually win that header. Noble finds Barkley though, and he finds Deeney, and Wilshere just about gets to that. And again, just circulating possession until we can make the breakthrough, and that's exactly what we were doing. There you go, 3. Deeney scoring again, and that's why do not dismiss so-called small club players. Watford, Deeney's playing for Watford, but he's scoring against the likes of Algeria and Scotland, and you know you'd hope he'd do the same against top national teams as well. But as long as this, look at that, it's our fullback scoring, and our striker assisting. And that's exactly what I want to see from my players. So I think we should let's just leave it a little bit long and then we'll make some substitutions. But yeah, that's why you shouldn't dismiss so-called small club players. I mean, look at Wilson, who plays for, I think, Bournemouth, and he's got 3 assists today. So as long as they've got the ability, as long as they're playing the game time, they deserve to be ahead of, you know, why shouldn't Wilson start ahead of Rooney? Based on what assumption? But anyways, a lot of tired players here, so we'll take off the ones who've played the best first. So Luke Shaw, he deserves a standing ovation and a bit of a rest. Same goes with Barkley. Same goes with Noble. I think we get 6 substitutions in the friendly, so who else is there? Walker, Cahill again for Keane. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who's left? Smalling. So had really back-to-back great games, and we can give Simon Francis, I think. No, he's already got on his cap before. How can I forget that? I was the one who gave him that. Either way, 20 minutes to go, and it's 4-0 to us. The stats are pretty similar, but we've made the most out of our chances, and that's all that matters. I don't think Algeria have actually put in any serious pressure on us, but they do have the chance here through a corner. But instead, it's us on the counter, and Wilshere finds Deeney. Can he go all the way by himself? It's 2 versus 1. The Algerian defense has come back, but Deeney still has a clear chance, so you should be scoring that. But either way, we come away with a corner. Bertrand, can he put good ball to the box? Ooh, Dyer, almost there. Klein. He does find Francis. Lallana. Ooh, not sure where that highlight ended there. I mean, it did go out, but it looked like a good shot. Should have seen it properly. But either way, Algeria on attack here. Oh, they're going to make the most of it. Keane comes out horribly, and, you know, Bentaleb makes the most of that. And we need to remind our players to stay concentrated. They are complacent. That's not a good sign. A clean sheet would have been great for Forster and for the defense, who really have deserved it. All of the substitutions have had horrible ratings so far, so that's not good. To be fair, we did make 6 substitutions in one go. But anyways, we come away with a result 4-1. Can't ask for more from this international break. So when we'll be back is actually in the next year, so we've got plenty of time to actually decide on our next team. It's a couple months until March. That way we get to know our players, you know, see if they actually are getting enough game time, how their season's developed, and that way it's a bit more clearer than how we would pick our players in the beginning of the season. So we do have Slovenia. It's literally just one game. Maybe a friendly will be you know, arranged later. I've left my assistant to arrange the friendlies. But I would assume in March there's only enough time for just one game, if I remember right. And then you know, the big game is actually the one against Slovakia, because they are the ones who are leading the group. But either way, an away game against Slovenia will be interesting. That should be the episode that we do next, or for next episode. And you know, up until we've guaranteed qualification, we'll be showing you every group game possible. And then, of course, the World Cup in Russia in 2018, 2 years' time. So we really need to start shaping our team now. But either way, if you did enjoy today's episode, then please do hit the like button and subscribe for more Daily Football Manager 2017 content. And as always, thank you all for watching.